A fateful drop. How a lost wallet forged an unbreakable bond. "Hey, ma'am, you dropped this!" Chloe yelled from the sidewalk, clutching a black leather wallet as the traffic light turned red. The man in the gray suit turned, confused, and rushed back between the honking cars. "Is this yours?" Chloe asked, extending the wallet. Ethan took it, opening it quickly. Bills, cards, documents, everything was there. "Yes, it's mine. Thank you, He paused, noticing her. Heavily pregnant. A basket of artisanal chocolates hanging from her arm. Worn-out shoes. "How can I thank you?" "No need. But let me give you something. There's a lot of money in here. It's not mine." Chloe was already walking towards her street stall when he caught up. "Wait, at least tell me your name." "Why?" "Because you returned something very important to me. I have contracts. Then take better care of your things." Ethan stood on the corner, watching her arrange her chocolates on a folding table. People walked past her as if she didn't exist. He pulled out a $50 bill. "Here, buy something for the baby." "I already said no. It's not charity. It's for helping me." "You didn't ask for my help. I just did the right thing." A delivery truck passed, spewing black fumes. She coughed and covered her nose. Ethan noticed her hands were trembling slightly. "Are you all right?" "Perfectly. You don't seem it. You don't know me well enough to know how I seem." Ethan put the bill away and loosened his tie. It was hot, and the city traffic was hellish, but he couldn't just leave. "You're right. I don't know you, but I can recognize a good person. Good people don't need recognition." "You always answer like that. Like your words are bullets." For the first time, Chloe looked him directly in the eyes. He had the tired face of someone who worked too much, but his eyes weren't hard like his voice. "Rich people always want to pay for everything, as if money fixes anything. I'm not that rich. Your suit costs more than what I earn in 2 months. Maybe, but it wasn't always like this." A woman approached the stand. "How much are the chocolate truffles?" $10 each, Chloe replied, returning to her work. Ethan stood there as she sold 3 truffles and a pack of mints. Her movements were precise, wasting no energy. When the woman left, he was still there. "Don't you have a job to go back to?" she asked. "Yes, but what? I don't understand why you don't want me to help you." "Because I don't need you. You're pregnant, selling chocolates on the street. And it's horribly hot, and you're trembling. I'm hungry, not cold." Ethan realized it was already 3 in the afternoon. She had probably been there since morning. "There's a deli on the corner. I can't leave the stand. I'll watch it for you." "You? Why not?" "Because you don't know how to sell chocolates." "Are they that difficult?" Chloe looked at him as if he were a child, asking why the sky is blue. "Do you really want to help?" "Yes." "Then leave. Your presence scares away my customers." "Why?" "Because you look like a cop, or from the city council. People don't trust that." Ethan took off his jacket and loosened his tie further. "Better like this." "Worse. Now you look like a mobster." Despite everything, he smiled. It was the first time in months. "What's your name?" "Why do you insist?" "Because I want to know the name of the woman who taught me something today." "What did I teach you?" "That there are still honest people." Chloe grabbed her basket and started packing up the chocolates. "My name is Chloe, and you should leave before the police arrive." "And you should." "Why would the police arrive?" "Because I don't have permission to sell here." Ethan looked around. Sure enough, a patrol car was approaching in the distance. "Let's go." "Let's go." "I know a place where you can sell without problems." "I don't know you, but I know you. You returned my wallet. That means nothing." "To me it does." The patrol car was getting closer. Chloe finished packing everything and picked up the table. "Can you walk fast with that?" he asked, pointing to her belly. "I can walk. Give me the table." "No, Chloe." "What?" "Give me the table." She stared at him for a few seconds and handed him the folding table. They walked quickly down a side street as the patrol car passed by. "Where are we going?" she asked. to a place where you can sell peacefully. Why are you doing this? Because you did something for me. It's not the same. To me, it is the same. They continued walking in silence. Ethan carried the table and glanced sideways at how she breathed with difficulty, but didn't complain. Not long until the baby is due. 2 months. And the father? What does that have to do with anything? Nothing. Just asking. Well, don't ask. They arrived at a small square with several food stalls. You can sell here. I know the manager. How much does it cost? Nothing. It's a personal favor. Chloe set up her table and arranged her chocolates again. Why are you helping me? Because you returned my wallet. You already told me that. And because I like how you sell. Without begging. Without lying. That's how it should be. Not everyone thinks the same. Ethan handed her his business card, in case she needed anything. I won't need anything. Keep it anyway. Chloe took the card without looking at it and put it in her pocket. Thanks for the spot. Thanks for my wallet. He walked away slowly, turning once. She was already selling to a woman with 2 children, as if nothing had happened. That night, Ethan couldn't stop thinking about her eyes. They weren't sad, but they weren't joyful either. They were the eyes of someone who had learned to expect nothing from anyone. Hey lady, you can't sell here without a permit, the officer shouted, as Chloe quickly packed up her chocolates. It was the 3rd time that week she'd been moved from different spots. I'm leaving, officer. Don't play the victim. It's the same thing with you people every day. Ethan was walking to his office when he saw the scene. He recognized Chloe immediately, her belly even larger than last week. What's the problem, officer? And who are you? Ethan Blackwood. I work in the building across the street. Ethan showed his ID. The officer changed his attitude when he saw the company name. Excuse me. Mr. Blackwood, this woman doesn't have a permit to sell. It's fine. I'll take responsibility. You know her? Yes, she works for my company. Chloe looked at him in surprise, but said nothing. Then no problem. Have a good day, Mr. Blackwood. The officer left. Chloe finished putting her things away. Why did you do that? Because that guy was treating you badly. I didn't need your help. I know, but I already gave it. Now you're going to make me pay for the favor. No, but I do want to talk to you. Chloe picked up her basket and started walking. Ethan followed her. What do you want? To offer you a job. A job doing what? At my company. Cleaning in the mornings. Administrative support in the afternoons. I don't know how to use computers. You don't need them for this. How much does it pay? $350 a week. Chloe stopped dead in her tracks. $350? Yes. Why so much? Because it's fair. Nobody pays that much for office cleaning. I do. Chloe kept walking, but more slowly. What exactly would I have to do? Clean 3 offices in the morning, file documents, and help with basic admin tasks in the afternoon. Monday to Friday. And can I miss work if I don't feel well? Of course. Without deductions? Without deductions. They arrived at a small cafe. Chloe sat down at a plastic table, exhausted. Why are you offering me this? Because I need someone trustworthy. You don't know me. I know you well enough. Because of the wallet? Because of how you handled the wallet. And how you treat your customers. A waitress brought the menu. Ethan ordered 2 lunch specials without asking. I didn't order anything, but you're hungry. How do you know? Because I'm also hungry, and it's 2 in the afternoon. Chloe didn't protest further. When the food arrived, she ate slowly but steadily. Where do you live? He asked her. In a women's shelter near the central train station. What's it like? Clean, safe, temporary? Temporary. They only let you stay for 3 months. I've been there for 2. And after that? I'll see. Ethan drank water and observed her. Chloe ate as if it were her first meal of the day. Did you have breakfast? Coffee? Nothing else? The coffee was freed at the shelter. And yesterday? Why so much interest? Because if you're going to work with me, I need you to be well. I'm fine. You don't seem it. You already told me that before. Ethan paid the bill, and they left. They walked towards his office building. When would you start? Tomorrow if you want. What if I'm not good enough? You will be. How are you so sure? Because you didn't lie to me about the wallet. That doesn't mean I know how to clean offices. Do you know how to clean? Yes. Can you read? I'm a certified nursing assistant. Ethan stopped. A certified nursing assistant? Well, almost. I just needed to complete my clinical hours when… She touched her belly. Why didn't you tell me before? You didn't ask. And why are you selling chocolates? Because no one hires pregnant nurses. Did you try looking for jobs in hospitals? In all of them. They said to come back after the baby is born. And the clinical hours? The same. Come back when I can work full-time. They arrived at the building. It was modern, with glass that reflected the sun. You work here? On the 12th floor. What kind of company is it? Renewable Energy Consulting. We help companies adopt sustainable practices. And you need a nursing assistant to clean your offices? I need someone trustworthy to help me with administrative tasks. I don't know anything about renewable energy, but you know how to organize, and read, and write. They went up in the elevator. Chloe watched the numbers change. Have you never been in a building like this? No. Are you scared? Why would I be scared? I don't know. It's very tall. Heights don't scare me. People do. What people? The ones who promise things they won't keep. The elevator opened on the 12th floor. The offices were spacious, with lots of natural light. How many people work here? There were 6 of us. Now there are 3. What happened to the others? They went to bigger companies. And why did you stay? Because this is my company. Ethan showed her the offices she would have to clean, and the filing room where she would work in the afternoons. Can you start tomorrow at 7 a.m.? Yes. Do you need an advance? No. Are you sure? Sure. There's a small room in the back. It has a cot and a bathroom. You can rest there if you feel unwell. Why are you telling me that? Because you're pregnant, and it's physical work. I can work while pregnant. I don't doubt it, but you can use the room if you need it. Chloe nodded and left. Ethan watched from the window as she waited for the bus at the stop. The next day, Chloe arrived at 7 a.m. sharp. She was wearing the same dress as last week, but clean and ironed. Good morning. Good morning. How did you sleep? Well, did you have breakfast? Coffee. Nothing else? The coffee was free at the shelter. There's a cafe downstairs. Buy yourself something. Should I start working first? No. First, have breakfast. Ethan gave her money and didn't take no for an answer. When she returned with a pastry and juice, he had already laid out the cleaning supplies. All this for 3 offices? I want you to be comfortable working. Chloe began cleaning methodically, unhurried, but wasting no time. Ethan watched her out of the corner of his eye while checking emails. At 12 p.m., she finished with the offices. What's next? Lunch? Together? If you don't mind. Why would we have lunch together? Because then I can explain the filing system. Can you explain it without us having lunch together? You could, but it's easier talking. Chloe looked at him with suspicion. What do you want from me? For you to work well. Nothing else? Nothing else. But when he saw her smile for the first time as she organized the documents that afternoon, Ethan knew he was lying to himself. Good morning, Chloe. Ethan arrived early that morning and found her cleaning his office. 3 weeks had passed since she started working there. Good morning, Mr. Blackwood. I told you to call me Ethan. All right, Ethan. He noticed that she had arranged the office plants and organized the files better. How do you feel today? Good. The baby? Good too. Chloe continued working. Ethan made coffee for both of them, as he had made a habit of doing. Have you thought of names yet? Leo. If it's a boy, it's a boy. How do you know? They told me in the ultrasound. Leo after a family member? No, I just like it. Ethan gave her his coffee. She drank it sitting at the small desk he had set up for her. Do you want to finish your studies after the baby is born? Yes, but it's going to be difficult. Why? Because of the baby. And the money. The job can be flexible. How flexible? Hours that allow you to study. Chloe looked at him with that expression she got when she didn't quite believe what she was hearing. Why would you do that? Because you need to finish your degree. You didn't know me a month ago, but I know you now. Just then, the phone rang. Ethan answered. Daniel? Yes, I'm in the office. A meeting? Now. All right, I'll wait for Poirier. He hung up and looked worried. Is something wrong? Chloe asked. My partner is coming over. You'd better go to the archive. Why? Daniel is complicated. He doesn't like you having employees. It's not that. But before he could explain further, Daniel arrived. He was a tall, well-dressed man, with an easy smile and a strong voice. Ethan, how are you? Good. What brings you here? We need to talk about the new contracts. Daniel entered the office and saw Chloe putting away her cleaning supplies. And who is she? The new employee, Chloe. Nice to meet you, she said without approaching. Daniel looked her up and down, especially her belly. How far along are you? 7 months, Chloe replied. And the father? Ethan quickly intervened. Daniel, let's go to the conference room. No, it's fine. Just curious. Chloe gathered her things and went to the archive. Ethan closed the door. Since when do you hire pregnant women? Since I needed someone trustworthy. She looks like she's from the streets. So what? Nothing. Just saying. They started reviewing the contracts, but Ethan was distracted. Through the conference room window, he could see Chloe organizing documents. Do you like her? Daniel suddenly asked. What? The pregnant woman. Don't be ridiculous. I've known you since we were kids, Ethan. It shows. She's just an employee. Sure. That's why you're giving a job to a woman who's going to give birth in 2 months. She's a good worker. Do you know who the baby's father is? It's not my problem. It should be. Why? Daniel was silent for a moment, looking towards the archive. Because it's possible you know me. Ethan looked up. What are you talking about? The pregnant woman. Chloe. I went out with her about 8 months ago, at a bar near the hospital where she worked. One night. Nothing serious. Ethan felt as if he'd been punched in the stomach. Are you sure? Of course I'm sure. Dark hair, big eyes, nursing assistant. It's her. And the baby? What do you think? Ethan, don't be naive. That woman is the type who looks for someone to blame. She doesn't seem like that kind of person to me. Oh no? Then why hasn't she told you who the father is? Because I haven't asked her. And why is she working instead of looking for the father of her child? Ethan didn't know what to say. Look, brother, Daniel continued, you've always been very noble, but this woman is playing you. How do you know? Because I know them. First they play hard to get, then the victim, and finally they want you to support them. Chloe hasn't asked for anything yet, but you'll see. Just then, Chloe knocked on the door. Excuse me, I need a signature for the files. Come in, Ethan said. Chloe entered with some papers. Daniel stared at her. Don't we know each other? I don't think so, she replied without looking at him. I'm sure we do. Did you work at the downtown hospital? I did my clinicals there. See, that's where we met. Chloe looked at him for the first time, and Ethan saw her face change. You're Daniel. Exactly. How are you? Fine. And the baby? Do you know if it's a boy or a girl yet? Boy, that's good. And how's the dad? Chloe looked at Ethan, then at Daniel. Excuse me? I have work to do. She left quickly. Daniel smiled. See how nervous she got? Maybe because your interrogation was too direct, or because she knows I found her out. Ethan sat down heavily. Are you sure the baby is yours? The dates match. Are you going to take responsibility? For what? She never looked for me. Never told me anything. Because she probably didn't know how to find you. Ethan, wake up. If she wanted to find me, she would have. So what do you propose? Nothing. You keep being her boss if you want. But don't get any more involved. And what if she needs help? That's not your responsibility. Daniel left an hour later. Ethan stayed in his office, looking towards the archive where Chloe worked. Why hadn't she told him who the father was? Did she know Daniel was his partner? Was she playing him like Daniel said? For the first time in weeks, he began to doubt. That afternoon, when Chloe finished her work, He barely spoke to her. "Is something wrong?" she asked. "No, nothing." "Sure?" "Sure. Have a good afternoon." Chloe left, confused. Ethan was left alone in the office, wondering if he really knew the woman he had begun to trust. 2 weeks had passed since Daniel's visit. Ethan barely spoke to Chloe beyond what was necessary for work. "The documents are ready," she told him, leaving a folder on his desk. "Thanks," he replied, without looking up. Chloe stood there for a few seconds. "Did I do something wrong?" "No, everything's fine. You don't seem it." "Chloe, just do your job." She went to the archive. Ethan looked up and saw her walking slower than before. The baby had grown a lot in the last few weeks. On Friday afternoon, Chloe didn't come to work. Ethan waited until 8, but she didn't show up. She also didn't arrive on Monday. "Do you know anything about Chloe?" he asked Sarah, the secretary. "No, boss." "Do you want me to call the shelter?" "No, it's fine." But it wasn't fine. Ethan was worried, but he didn't know why. If Daniel was right, it was better if she didn't come back. On Tuesday morning, Sarah rushed into his office. "Boss, the women's hospital called. Chloe is there." "What happened?" "She had the baby." Ethan felt something strange in his chest. "Is she all right?" "They said so, but they asked if someone from the family could go." "Why?" "She didn't say to go to just wait. Ethan drove to the hospital without knowing exactly why. At information, he was told Chloe was on the 3rd floor, maternity ward. He found her alone in a shared room with 3 other women. She had the baby in her arms, but she looked very tired. "Hello," he said from the doorway. "Ethan, how did you know?" "They called the office." "Why did they call there?" "Because you put them down as an emergency contact." Chloe looked confused. "I don't remember doing that." "How do you feel?" "Tired." Ethan approached. The baby was small, with a lot of dark hair. "What's his name?" "Leo." "When was he born?" 2 days ago." "Why didn't you let anyone know?" "Who was I going to tell?" Ethan didn't know what to say. On the table there was an untouched food tray. "Aren't you hungry?" "Not really." "What did the doctor say?" "That everything is fine. That I can leave tomorrow." "Where are you going to go?" "I don't know. The shelter doesn't accept babies." "Do you have money?" "A little." Ethan sat down on the plastic chair next to the bed. "Can I hold Leo?" "Do you know how?" "More or less." Chloe handed him the baby. Ethan felt clumsy at first, but Leo stayed calm. "He's very small. He was born at 8 months. Why?" "I worked until the last day. The doctor says it was due to stress." Ethan felt guilty. He had treated her coldly in the last few weeks. "Did you call the father?" Chloe looked him directly in the eyes. "What father?" "Leo's father." "Why? He doesn't want to know anything about us." "How do you know?" "Because I told him when I found out I was pregnant." "And what did he say?" "That it wasn't his problem." Ethan handed the baby back to her. "Did Daniel tell you that?" Chloe was very still. "Did Daniel tell you?" "Yes." "What exactly did he tell you?" "That you went out once. That the baby could be his." "Could be?" "That's what he said." Chloe cradled Leo to her chest. "What do you think?" "I don't know what to think." "Do you think I'm a liar?" "I didn't say that, but you think it." Ethan got up and walked to the window. "Why didn't you tell me it was Daniel?" "Because it didn't matter." "Of course it matters. He's my partner." "And what does that change?" "It changes everything." "Why?" "Because now I don't know if you're working with me by chance or by interest." Chloe was silent for a moment. "Do you think I planned all this?" "I don't know." "Do you think I looked for a job with you because I knew Daniel was your partner?" "It's possible." "Do you think I got pregnant on purpose?" "I'm not saying that." "Then what are you saying?" Ethan turned to her. "I'm saying I'm confused." "Why?" "Because I was starting to be interested in you." "And now?" "Now I don't know if you're who I thought you were." Chloe kissed Leo's head. "I never lied to you, but you also didn't tell me the truth." "What truth?" "That Daniel is Leo's father." Is that what he told you? Yes. And you believed him? Why wouldn't I believe him? Chloe leaned back on the pillow. Because Daniel is not Leo's father. What? Daniel is not the father. Then who? That doesn't matter. Of course it matters. Why? Because I want to understand. Understand what? Why Daniel says it's his son. Chloe closed her eyes. Because Daniel is a liar. Why would he lie about that? Ask him. I'm asking you. And I'm telling you, it's none of your business. Ethan felt frustrated. So what do I do? Nothing. Go on with your life. And you? Me too. With a baby and no job? I'll get another job. Where? Anywhere. A nurse entered to check on Leo. Is he the father? She asked. No. Both answered at the same time. Family? Boss? Chloe said. Friend? Something like that. Ethan said. The nurse finished her check and left. Ethan stood next to the bed. Do you need anything? No. Money? No. Food? No. A place to stay? I'll find something. Ethan felt useless. Can I come tomorrow? What for? To see how you are. If you want. Do you want me to? It doesn't matter to me. Ethan left feeling worse than when he arrived. That night he couldn't sleep, thinking about Chloe alone with Leo in the hospital. The next day, when he arrived, the room was empty. At reception, he was told Chloe had left early in the morning. Did she leave a message? No, sir. Ethan drove back to the office, wondering if he would ever see her again. Part of him hoped not. Another part knew he would miss her. 2 weeks later, Daniel arrived at the office with news. Ethan, we have a problem. What happened? The clients for the West Coast project are asking about the missing documents. Which documents? The ones your little employee was organizing. Chloe? Yes, it seems she took important information. Ethan felt as if cold water had been thrown on him. Are you sure? Completely. Now everything makes sense. For the first time in weeks, Ethan didn't know if Daniel was right or not. Ethan took 3 days to find Chloe. He found her at a local community clinic, waiting with Leo for his 2-month checkup. Hello. Chloe looked up, surprised. How did you find me? I asked at several clinics. What for? To talk to you. About the documents? Ethan sat down on the plastic chair next to her. Do you know what documents Daniel is talking about? Yes. Do you have them? Yes. Why? Because they're important. A woman with 2 children sat opposite them. Chloe lowered her voice. Can we talk here? Better somewhere else. They left the clinic. Ethan saw that Chloe was carrying Leo in an old baby wrap. Where do you live now? In a room nearby. Can I see it? What for? To talk properly. They walked 3 blocks. The room was in an old tenement building on the 2nd floor. It was small, with a single bed, a table, and a 2-burner stove. How much do you pay? $150 a week. Can you afford it? For now, yes. Ethan sat on the only chair. Chloe put Leo on the bed. Where are the documents? In a safe place. Why do you have them? Because I discovered something. What? That Daniel is stealing. Ethan sat up straight. What are you talking about? That he has another company registered in his name. He's charging for projects that don't exist. How do you know that? Because I checked the files. The invoices don't match the work. Are you sure? Completely. Chloe pulled a shoebox from under the bed. Inside were copies of documents. Look at this. She showed him invoices and contracts. Ethan reviewed them carefully. Did you copy all of this? Yes. Why? Because I knew something wasn't right. Since when? Since I started organizing the archive. There were a lot of loose papers. Ethan continued reviewing. The numbers didn't match. Does Daniel know you have this? I assume so. Is that why he says you took important documents? Yes. What do you plan to do? Nothing. How nothing? I don't work there anymore. It's not my problem. Ethan put the papers on the table. Yes, it is your problem. And mine. Why? Because if Daniel is stealing, he can get us into legal trouble. Not me. I just organize papers. And me? You're his partner. Leo started to cry. Chloe picked him up and breastfed him. What do you want me to do? Help me. How? By lending me the original documents. What for? To talk to a lawyer. And then? Then we'll see. Chloe rocked Leo while he ate. What do I get out of this? Doing the right thing. I already did the right thing once. Look where I am. Ethan got up and walked to the small window. What do you need? What for? To help me. Are you offering me money? I'm asking you what you need. Chloe thought for a moment. A job. What kind of job? Anything. That allows me to take care of Leo. Could you come back to the office? With Leo? Yes. What would Daniel say? Daniel won't be a problem anymore. What are you going to do? End the partnership. Can you do that? Yes, but I need proof. Chloe finished breastfeeding Leo and put him on the bed. What if I get into trouble? You won't get into trouble. How do you know? Because you didn't do anything wrong. But I have documents that aren't mine. The documents belong to the company. You worked there. Chloe was silent, thinking. How much would you pay me? The same as before. $350 a week. For how long? As long as you need. Even after you're done with Daniel? Even after. Why? Because you're a good worker. Is that the only reason? Ethan looked at her. No. What's the other one? That I care about you. Why? I don't know. Since when? Since you returned my wallet. Chloe sat on the bed next to Leo. And about Daniel? What about Daniel? You no longer think I planned everything? No. What made you change your mind? These documents, why? Because if you had planned something, you wouldn't have shown them to me. Chloe smiled for the first time in weeks. So you trust me? Yes. Completely? Completely. Even if you don't know who Leo's father is. Even if I don't know. You don't care? I care, but not for the reasons you think. What reasons? Because I want you to be well. You and Leo. Chloe picked up Leo again. Can I ask you something? Yes. Why don't you have family? Who says I don't? No one comes to see you. No one helps you. My family lives far away. Where? In Oregon. Why don't you ask them for help? Because I don't want to be a burden. Do they know about Leo? Yes. And what do they say? To come back. Why don't you go back? Because here I can finish my studies. Not in Oregon. It's harder. Ethan understood. Chloe was alone because she had chosen to be. When can you come back to work? Whenever you want. Tomorrow? Yes. Sure? Sure. And Leo? He'll come with me? You don't mind working with him? He's my son. I know. But it's work. I worked pregnant. I can work with a baby. Ethan said goodbye and left. That night he couldn't sleep, thinking about how to deal with Daniel without hurting Chloe. The next day, she arrived early with Leo in the baby wrap. Where should I put him? In the back room. I set up a crib. You bought a crib? Yes. Why? Because Leo will be here often. Chloe went to see the room. There was a new crib, a changing table, and a comfortable chair. All this for him? Yes. How much did it cost? It doesn't matter. Ethan. What? Thank you. Thank you. Why? For trusting me. Why? For giving me a reason to end things with Daniel. That morning, as Chloe organized the documents and Leo slept in his new crib, Ethan knew he had made the right decision. He didn't know what would happen next, but for the first time in months, he had hope. 6 months had passed since Chloe returned to work. Ethan had ended his partnership with Daniel after showing him proof of the fraud. There was no scandal, just signed papers and an uncomfortable silence. Leo is sitting up on his own now, Ethan commented, watching the baby in his crib. Yes, he's growing up so fast. Is he 6 months old already? He turns 6 months tomorrow. Are you going to do anything special? No, he's too young to understand. Ethan continued working on his computer, but glanced sideways at Chloe organizing invoices with Leo sitting on her lap. How are night classes going? Good. I only have 4 subjects left. When do you finish? In December. And after that? Look for a job in a hospital. You don't want to work here anymore? Chloe looked up. Do you want me to stay? Yes. Why? Because you work well. Only that? No. Why else? Ethan stopped typing. Because I like having you around. As an employee? As a person. Leo began to babble and reach out his arms to Ethan. He's asking you to pick him up. How do you know? Because he always does that when you arrive. Ethan picked up Leo. The baby touched his face with his small hands. Do you think he accepts me? More than accept you. He loves you. How do you know? Because he cries when you leave. Really? Really? Ethan felt something warm in his chest. He had learned to change diapers, prepare bottles, and rock Leo when he had colic. Can I ask you something? Chloe said. Yes. Why did you never marry? I never found the right person. What's the right person like for you? I don't know. I thought I'd know when I met her. And what? Did you meet her? Ethan looked at her as he rocked Leo. I think so. When? About 8 months ago. Chloe was very still. Really? Really. And what are you going to do? I don't know. It's complicated. Why? Because she has a baby. And that bothers you? No, not at all. Then what's complicated? That I don't know if she feels the same way. Chloe continued organizing papers, but more slowly. Have you asked her? No. Why not? Because I'm scared. Of what? That she'll say no. Leo fell asleep in Ethan's arms. He carried him to the crib very carefully. Are you done with work for today? He asked. Yes. Do you have classes? No, not today. Do you want to go to dinner? The three of us? The three of us. Like a family? Like friends who have dinner together. Why not? They went to a family restaurant near the office. Leo behaved well, sitting in a high chair, playing with his toys. Is this how you imagined your life? Chloe asked. How? Having dinner with a woman and a baby. No, I never imagined anything like this. Do you like it? Yes. Why? Because it feels normal. Normal how? Like it was meant to be. Leo threw his water glass. Ethan cleaned it up while Chloe gave him small pieces of tortilla. Can I ask you something? He said. Yes. Is Leo's father? Is he dead? Chloe stopped feeding the baby. Why do you ask that? Because you never talk about him, as if he doesn't exist. For me, he doesn't exist. But is he alive? Yes. Does Leo know him? No. Does he know he has a son? Yes. And he doesn't want to meet him? No. Are you sure? Completely. Did he tell you that? He told me it wasn't his problem. Ethan felt anger towards a man he didn't know. How can he say that? There are men like that. Did he hurt you? Physically? In any way? Yes, but it doesn't matter anymore. Of course it matters. Why? Because Leo is his son. Leo doesn't need a dad who doesn't want him. But he does need a dad. Do you think so? All children need a dad. Chloe wiped Leo's face with a napkin. Would you like to be a dad? I'd never thought about it. But now, yes. Of any child? Of this child. Why? Because I already love him. And me? The question hung in the air. Ethan didn't know how to answer. That's the difficult question, Chloe said. Yes. What would the answer be? That I love you too. Since when? For a while now. Why didn't you tell me? Because I didn't know how. And now you do? Now I do. Leo began to get uncomfortable. It was 8 in the evening, his bedtime. We should go, Chloe said. Yes. In the car, Leo fell asleep in his car seat. Ethan drove slowly towards the neighborhood where Chloe lived. Can I come up? He asked. What for? To help you with Leo. I can do it alone? I know. But I want to help. They went up to the room. Ethan carried Leo while Chloe prepared his bed. Does he sleep all night? Almost always. And if he cries, I pick him up. Don't you get tired? Yes, but he's my son. Ethan put Leo in his crib. The baby continued to sleep soundly. Do you want coffee? Chloe asked. Yes. They sat at the small table, drinking instant coffee. What are you thinking about? She asked. That this room is very small. It's what I can afford. I know, I'm not criticizing you. Then what? That you could live in a better place. We could? You and Leo. Where? With me. Chloe put her cup on the table. What are you saying? That you come live in my house. Why? Because then we'd be together, as a family. as whatever we want to be. And what do we want to be? I don't know, but we can find out. Chloe got up and went to the window. Is it a proposal? Is it an invitation? What's the difference? A proposal has commitment. An invitation has hope. Hope for what? That it works. And if it doesn't work, then at least we tried. Leo made a sleepy sound. They both turned to look at him. Do you need time to think about it? Ethan asked. Yes. How much time? I don't know. A week? Maybe. Ethan got up to leave. Ethan. Yes. Do you really want us? Both of us? Really? Even if Leo isn't your biological son? Leo can be my son if you want. How? In all the ways that matter. That night, they both stayed awake thinking about the same question. What would happen if they dared to try? A week later, Chloe hadn't given an answer. Ethan tried to act normal, but each passing day he felt more anxious. The exam results are ready, Chloe said, putting a letter on his desk. What exam? The National Health Institute's exam, the nursing competition. Ethan opened the letter. Chloe had placed second out of 120 applicants. Congratulations, that's incredible. Thanks, when would you start? In a month. Where? Wherever they assign me. Could it be anywhere? Yes, but it'll probably be here in the city. Leo crawled around the office, exploring everything he found. He was already 8 months old and very curious. Do you like the idea of working at the Institute? Yes, it's what I always wanted. Better than working here? It's different. It's my profession. Ethan understood, but felt sad. If Chloe got a job at the Institute, he wouldn't see her every day. And Leo? We'll see. Maybe at daycare. Don't you prefer him to be with you? I do, but it's not always possible. The phone rang. Ethan answered. Ethan Blackwood? Yes, this is me. A project in Oregon. For how long? I understand. When do you need an answer? He hung up and looked thoughtful. What was it? Chloe asked. A job offer. What kind of job? Coordinator of a renewable energy project in rural communities. In Oregon? Yes. Are you interested? I don't know. Leo crawled towards Ethan and grabbed his pants to stand up. How long would it be for? 2 years, maybe 3. Would you live there? Yes. It's a good project. Very good. Bringing electricity to 20 communities that don't have it. Why do you hesitate? Because it's far. From what? From here. From you? Chloe picked up Leo and sat in front of Ethan's desk. When do you have to decide? In a week. What are you going to do? It depends. On what? On you. On me? On whether you come with me? Chloe was very still. To Oregon? Yes, with Leo. With Leo. But I have a job at the Institute. You could work at a community clinic. Are you crazy? Maybe. Ethan, that's my opportunity. I know. I've worked for years to get that position. I know. And you're asking me to leave it to go with you to a small town? I'm asking you to come with me. The job is secondary. Chloe got up and started walking around the office with Leo in her arms. What kind of life would that be? A life together? In the countryside? What's wrong with the countryside? Nothing, but I'm a city person. You're from Oregon. From the city in Oregon, not the countryside. But you know the area. Somewhat. Leo started to cry. Chloe gave him his bottle. Why do you want me to go with you? Because I don't want to be away from you. Is it a proposal? What kind of proposal? Of marriage. Ethan was silent for a moment. He hadn't thought about that specifically. What had you thought about? Being together? As a couple? Yes. Living together? Yes. Raising Leo together? Yes. That sounds like marriage. Maybe. Do you want to marry me? Yes. Why? Because I love you. Since when? For months now. Why didn't you tell me? Because I was scared. Of what? That you wouldn't love me. Chloe sat down again. And now? Now I'm telling you. Do you love me? I love you. You and Leo. Even if he's not your biological son, Leo is my son in all that matters. And if his biological father ever appears, Leo already has a father. You? If he accepts me, yes. Leo had finished his bottle and was playing with the buttons on Chloe's blouse. What would happen if I married you? What do you want to happen? I don't know. I've never been married. Neither have I. So, how do we know if it's going to work? We don't know. But we can try, and if it doesn't work, then at least we tried. Chloe looked out the window. Outside, it was starting to rain. What would life be like in Oregon? Simple, peaceful. Do you like simple life? With you, yes. Would there be schools for Leo? Yes. A hospital if he gets sick? There's a hospital in the county seat. And if I need to study more? There's a university in the state capital. Is it far? 2 hours by car. Chloe thought for a moment. When would you have to leave? In a month. The same time I have to start at the institute. Yes. Is that a coincidence? No, it's a decision. What kind of decision? Choosing between the life I have and the life I want. Which one do you want? The one that includes both of you. Leo had fallen asleep in Chloe's arms. She rocked him gently. Can I think about it? How much time do you need? A week, all right? And what if I say no? Then I'll stay here. You wouldn't take the job? No. Why? Because I prefer to be near you, even if we're not together. And what if I say yes? Then we go together. As a family? As a family. That night, Chloe couldn't sleep. Leo slept peacefully in his crib, but she stayed awake thinking. What did she really want? The job she had dreamed of for years, or the life she had never dared to imagine? The next day, she arrived early at the office. I've decided, she told Ethan. And? Yes. Yes, what? Yes, I'll marry you. Yes, I'll go to Oregon. Yes, I want to try. Ethan got up and hugged her. Leo, who was in his chair, started clapping as if he understood that something good was happening. Are you sure? No, but I want to try. Why? Because I also love you. Since when? For a while now. But I was afraid to say it. Why? Because I didn't know if it was love or gratitude. And now you know? Now I know it's love. How do you know? Because the idea of not seeing you hurts more than the idea of leaving everything else. They hugged while Leo played, unaware that they had just made the most important decision of their lives. 2 years later, Chloe woke up to the sound of Leo laughing in the yard. Through the window, she saw him running after chickens, while Ethan made coffee in the small kitchen. Dad, the chicken is chasing me. Don't be scared, you're bigger. Chloe smiled. Leo had started calling Ethan Dad ever since they arrived in Meadowbrook, Oregon, without anyone teaching him. Good morning, Ethan said when she entered the kitchen. Good morning. How did you sleep? Well, did Leo wake up the whole community yet? Just the chickens. The house was small but comfortable. 2 bedrooms, kitchen, living room, and a yard with fruit trees. Nothing luxurious, but enough. What time do you have to be at the community clinic? At 8. Do you want me to take Leo to school? If you can. I'm leaving later today. Why? A new doctor is arriving. I have to show her everything. Ethan poured coffee for both of them. Outside, Leo had left the chickens alone and was now playing with a stray dog they had adopted. Do you regret it? He asked. Regret what? Coming here. No, you? Not at all. Not even a little? Why do you ask that? Because yesterday you talked to your former partner from the city. Does it bother you? No, but I'm curious. He offered me a job again. What kind of job? Director of a new company in New York. Good salary? Very good. What did you tell him? No, why? Because my life is here. Are you sure? Completely sure. Leo ran into the kitchen. Mom, the dog knows how to shake a paw. Did you teach him? Yes, look! The dog indeed knew how to shake a paw. Leo was very proud. Did you brush your teeth? Chloe asked. What for? To go to school. Can I stay here? No. Children go to school. Did Dad go to school too? Yes, Ethan replied. Many years. Is that why you know about electricity? Part of that is learned in school. Can I learn about electricity? When you're older. When I'm big like you. When you're 15, you can start. Does 15 take a long time? 12 years. That's a lot. Chloe and Ethan laughed. Leo was 3 years old, and everything seemed like an eternity to him. "Come on, go brush your teeth." Leo ran off. The dog followed him. "Is he happy?" Ethan asked. "Leo, yes, very happy. And you?" "Me too. Don't you miss the city?" "Sometimes, but not as much as I thought." "What do you miss most?" "The movie theaters and bookstores. Nothing else?" "The subway. It was easier to get around." "And what do you like most about being here?" "The peace. And that Leo can play outside safely." "And what do you like most about us?" "About us as a couple. Yes, that we don't fight. You expected us to fight." "A little. Couples fight. We're not like other couples. Why?" "Because we started as friends. Is that good?" "I think so." Leo returned with his teeth brushed and his backpack ready. "I'm ready." "Do you have your lunch?" "Yes." "Your homework?" "I don't have homework. I'm too little for homework." "That's true," Ethan said. "Let's go. On foot or by car?" "How do you want to go?" "On foot. To see the farm animals." Chloe said goodbye to them both and walked to the community clinic. It was 10 minutes from the house, along a path through fields. At the clinic, the new doctor was waiting for her. She was young, recently graduated, and looked nervous. "Are you Chloe?" "Yes." "Dr. Henderson?" "Yes. How do I work here?" "What do you mean?" "Everything. People speak English, but it's a different accent. There aren't many medications, and I don't have internet." Chloe smiled. She had had the same doubts at first. "Where are you from, Seattle? First time in a rural community?" "Yes. It'll be fine. You just need time to get used to it." "How long have you been here?" "Good. 2 years. Do you like it?" "A lot. Why?" "Because here you can really help." The doctor looked skeptical, but said nothing. During the morning, still patients arrived. The new doctor was surprised by how Chloe talked to each one. She asked about their families, and she knew their stories. "How do you know so much about each patient?" "Because I live here. I know them." "You live in the community?" "Yes. With family?" "With my husband and son." "Is your husband from here too?" "No. He's from the city, but he likes the countryside." "What does he do?" "He teaches young people about solar energy, so houses have electricity." "Do you like living here?" "Yes, we don't miss the city. Some things, but not the important ones." At lunchtime, Ethan picked her up with Leo. "How was your day?" he asked. "Good. The new doctor is very young. Is she going to stay?" "I don't know. She looks scared." "Did you look scared when we arrived?" "Probably." "And what helped you?" "You." "How?" "Because you didn't leave me alone." They walked home, the three of them. Leo ran ahead, stopping to pick up stones and wildflowers. "Do you know what day tomorrow is?" Ethan asked. "Saturday. What else?" "I don't know. 2 years since we arrived here." "Really? Really? It went by fast. Does it feel like a short time to you?" "It feels like we've always lived here. Is that good or bad?" "Good. It means we found our place." That night, after putting Leo to bed, they sat on the patio to watch the stars. "Do you think Leo will want to stay here when he grows up?" Chloe asked. "I don't know, but he'll know he has options." "What options?" "To stay or to leave. But he'll always have a home to come back to." "How do you know?" "Because we'll be here. Always. As long as it takes." An owl hooted from the apple tree. Leo's dog barked softly, and then it fell silent. "Are you happy?" Chloe asked. "Very happy. Even if it's not the life you planned, it's better than the life I planned." "Why?" "Because the life I planned didn't include you two, and now you can't imagine life without us?" "I can't, and I don't want to." They were silent, listening to the sounds of the night. They weren't the sounds of the city, but they were their sounds now. "Do you know what I learned?" Chloe said. "What?" "That love isn't about finding the perfect person." "What is it then?" "Finding the person you want to build something with." "And what are we building?" "A family. Do you like what we're building?" "I love it." That night they slept embracing, knowing they had found something they didn't know they were looking for. A simple life, but complete. 4 years later, on a Saturday morning at the Meadowbrook Farmers Market. "Mom, look!" shouted Leo, pointing to a wallet lying next to the vegetable stand. Chloe was buying kale when she saw her 7-year-old son bend down to pick up a brown leather wallet. "What did you find?" "A wallet." "Does it have money?" "A lot of money." "Yes, and an ID card." Leo showed her the open wallet. It had bills and the ID card of an elderly lady. "What do we do?" he asked. "What do you think we should do?" "Find the lady. Why?" "Because it's not ours." Chloe smiled. Leo had learned well. "What's the lady's name?" "Eleanor Green. Do you know her?" "No." "Let's ask around the market. Someone must know her." They went from stall to stall. At the flower stall, a lady told them, "Oh yes, Mrs. Green. She lives near the church. Blue house with a green gate." "Shall we go?" Leo asked. "Let's go." They walked along the cobblestone streets until they found the blue house. Leo knocked on the door. "Who is it?" "Excuse me, ma'am. Are you Eleanor Green?" A white-haired woman opened the door. "Yes, I am. What do you need?" "We found this at this market," Leo said, showing the wallet. "Oh my goodness, my wallet! Where did you find it?" "Next to the vegetable stand. I hadn't realized I'd dropped it. Is everything there?" Leo handed her the wallet. The lady quickly checked it. "Everything's here. What an honest boy. What's your name?" "Leo, let me give you something, Leo." "You don't need to, ma'am." "Of course I do. It's a lot of money you returned to me, but it's not mine." The lady looked at Chloe. "Did you teach him that?" "He decided it himself. What a good boy. You must be very proud." "Yes, I'm very proud." The lady insisted on giving Leo money, but he didn't accept. Finally, she gave him candies and told him he could stop by her house whenever he wanted. Back at the market, Chloe and Leo met Ethan, who was carrying vegetables. "Where have you been?" "Leo found a wallet," Chloe explained. "And? We returned it to the owner." Ethan looked at Leo with pride. "Did she thank you?" "Yes, and she wanted to give me money, but I told her no." "Why did you tell her no?" "Because it wasn't mine." Ethan picked up Leo and hugged him. "You know what?" "What?" "Your mom did the same thing once." "Really?" "Really. She found a wallet and returned it to the owner. And what did the owner do? He thanked her, and then they became friends." "Good friends?" "The best of friends." "And then what happened?" Ethan looked at Chloe. "Then they got married." "Because of a wallet?" "Not exactly because of the wallet, but the wallet helped them meet." "Am I going to marry Mrs. Green?" Chloe and Ethan laughed. "No, son. You're going to marry someone your age. When?" "When you're grown up. And in the meantime?" "In the meantime, you're still our son." They walked back home, the three of them. Leo walked ahead, stopping to greet everyone he knew. "Did you notice?" Ethan said. "Notice what?" "What Leo did, yes. He did the right thing, just like you." "He gets it from his mom," Chloe said, smiling. "And learned from his dad?" Ethan replied, squeezing her hand. They arrived home as the sun was in the center of the sky. Leo went to play in the yard with the dog. Chloe and Ethan stayed in the kitchen, putting away the groceries. "Do you know what I think about when I see Leo do things like that?" Ethan said. "What?" "That it was all worth it." "What was?" "Leaving the city. Changing my life, everything. Why?" "Because we're raising a good boy." "Is that the most important thing?" "To me, yes. More important than money?" "Much more important. More important than work. Also, more important than being famous." "We don't want to be famous." "What do we want then?" "To be happy. Are we happy?" "What do you think?" Chloe looked out the window. Leo was teaching the dog to sit. The dog didn't understand very well, but Leo was patient. "I think so." "Only think." "I'm sure. How do you know?" "Because I don't want to be anywhere else." "Not even in the city?" "Not even. Not even with another family." "Less so." "Not even with another life." "I like this life." Through the window, they saw a young couple with a baby pass by. They looked tired, but happy. "Do you think they're going to be happy?" Ethan asked. "I don't know. It depends on what they do. What would they have to do? Take care of each other, respect each other, and not give up when things get tough. Like us? Like us. Leo ran in. Dad, the dog already knows how to sit. Really? Come see. Ethan followed Leo to the yard. Chloe stayed in the kitchen, watching from the window as her husband and son played with the dog. They didn't have a lot of money. They didn't have a big house. They didn't have a new car. But they had something better. They had time to be together. They had a place where Leo could grow up safely. They had jobs they liked. They had neighbors who knew them by name. And they had love. Not the love from movies, full of drama and music. The everyday love, made of coffee in the mornings, of hands reaching for each other in bed, of worrying when the other comes home late. The love that doesn't need pretty words because it's shown through small actions. Like teaching a child that returning a wallet is the right thing to do. Like choosing to stay instead of leaving. Like building a simple but meaningful life. That night, when Leo was already asleep, Chloe and Ethan sat on the patio as they did every night. "What are you thinking about?" he asked. "The wallet? Which one? The one from today or the one from years ago?" "Both. What do you think?" "That life is strange. Why?" "Because sometimes the smallest things change everything." "Like a wallet? Like a wallet? Or like returning a wallet?" "Also, do you think Leo will remember this when he's grown up? Maybe not the exact day, but he'll remember that we taught him to do the right thing. Is that enough? To me, yes. To be good parents, to be good people." The stars shone above them. The air smelled of apple blossoms. In the distance, music from a party at the neighbor's house could be heard. "You know what?" Ethan said. "What?" "I wouldn't change anything. Nothing about what? Nothing about our story. Not even the difficult parts? Not even those. Because the difficult parts brought us here, and here is good, here is perfect." They were silent, listening to the night. They didn't need to say more. They had found what they didn't know they were looking for, a life that wasn't in their plans, but that was exactly the life they needed. And it all began with a wallet on the asphalt. Did you enjoy the story of Chloe, Ethan, and Leo? This beautiful story teaches us that sometimes the smallest gestures can change an entire life. Like when Chloe returned that wallet without asking for anything in return. Or when Ethan decided to trust a woman he barely knew. Or when Leo learned that doing the right thing doesn't need a reward. If this story touched your heart as much as it did ours, don't forget to like the video and share it with someone you think needs to hear about the power of honesty and true love. We love telling stories that celebrate the values that truly matter. Honesty, respect, family, and those small decisions that build a fulfilling life. If you want to continue enjoying more stories like this, subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon so you don't miss any. And tell us in the comments, from which country are you watching us? We are thrilled to know that these stories reach hearts around the world. Your comment brightens our day and motivates us to continue creating content that is truly worthwhile. Research, Canvas,